Zoom account. And so the Zoom link that we have been using for quite a while now will be changed. Obviously, I will make sure that the Facebook page, the website, and any announcements that are sent out are accompanied by the new Facebook meeting when we establish that. So that's all I have. So, John, it's all on you now. Thank you.
All right. Just for those who may not know me or what have you about me, I went down a rabbit hole about 5 years ago during the shutdown and started getting into fancy work. First, it was paracord, and I spent many a day watching Marco Gork's uh, Paracord Guild, and then that took me by the algorithm to Miko, and so on. Quickly, within a month, I had discovered the idea of doing Senate frames. And that's really what I focus on. I do some other things. I make some Christian crosses on wooden bases. I've done a few bell ropes and so on and so forth. But so Peter asked me to, and I'm going to shift my camera now, see if this how this looks. Peter asked me to do a tutorial on um, these star knots. Is that in focus? How are we doing there? Does that look okay?
Yeah, it looks good, John.
All right. So as you can see by what I have displayed here, I've gone a little nuts on star knots. The primary reason that I've aimed at star knots is though I really like rose knots and use that in my logo, they're kind of floppy. And when I'm putting them on a frame, I need the stability and strength of the structure of a star knot. I love them. So I decided to find different ways of making them look radically different with just different crowning. These are all star knots. 8-point star knot. That's a 6, 8, 8, and so on. So I'm not going to get but so much into that. Let's assume, for the sake of tutorials, that no one knows anything, because I think it's good to start at the basics. So when I'm going to tie a star knot, a multi-strand star knot, you could start with maybe, actually, you could do a 3, but here's a 4. And the reason I'm bringing this up is with a 4, you don't need a core. They separate themselves nicely into a radial display as you, and we're, situation before you start tying. But if you go to 5 or more, you need to put, is that in focus? Can you see that? There's 5 around there, but a central core of one other piece of line. Is this?
Yeah, we see it.
You can see it. Can you, does this look focused to you? It doesn't look focused to me.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, John.
Okay. So anyway, that's important to me because I want them to be perfectly symmetrical. So if you do put a core in them from 5 and up, you'll have a better situation to start with. So I made a couple of displays to kind of show, I'm going to tie one in a minute, but this is what happens after the first step of a star knot. That's a 5-point. The reason I'm bringing up the 5-point is if you go to Miko's or to Ashley Book of Knots, the 5-point star is the primary item used for describing how to tie them. And if you know how to tie a 5-point star knot, you can tie a star knot in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however many, because it's the same operation, simply using more strands to accomplish a larger and more multi-bite or multi-point star knot. So that's the first step. Then the second step is crowning, and that ends up looking like this. The third step, see where I am here, it radically transforms into a recognizable star knot form. And this is the most challenging part of tying a star knot, is understanding how to get it from here to here. Then one more step along the way is those lines have all been brought up through the middle of the knot. And the back part is pretty much finished. And then you can do the basic star knot, which is going to look like this. Now, if you use softer line, you can close up that hole, but with a harder line, you're going to have a hole of some sort, or have something sitting in the middle and not being symmetrical. Does that all make sense?
Yep.
All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tie a 5-point star knot. So starting with any line, twist and loop it under. Then moving counterclockwise, yoke to the next line along, reach under that, bring it back around this first line and go back under itself. We'll continue. I'm going to try to hold this to where you can see what the heck I'm doing. Okay. So there's one. Then we're going to go to the next one. Around under this one, over it, and then under itself. And the next one. Same operation. And the final one, around and under itself. And then we started with a loop by itself, and that's going to be filled by the final 5th line. And that's that first operation. Then there's ferrying it up. This is the quick and easy part of ferrying this up. There is one step where ferrying it up takes some time. I'll try to get them as even as possible, even though they're going to, there's going to be quite a bit more adjustment as you go along. So that's fair to middling. Then the next step is a single crown in a clockwise fashion. So start anywhere, go over one, over one, over one, over one, and we started here. So we're going to go back under that one. So step 2 is completed. So the easy parts are over. The rest, for those that are not familiar with tying these, is hard to look at. So I'm going to do my best to explain what you do to create a star knot out of those, after those first 2 stages or operations. Any one of the lines you can start with, and it's extending underneath one line. You're going to go around that line, back under itself. And when you do, as it comes through, you'll see that it runs parallel to the one to the right of it. Another way to gauge, so you're going to run parallel there, then go down through that hole. Another way to gauge it is counting from where you started over 1, 2 bites, and then you go back down through there. And I always move around clockwise when I do this. So here's the next one. Here we have one. Oh, another key on this is when that goes around, it needs to go on top of the loop that you started with. So you're doubling that. So let's do another one. Around under there. Count over 2. And back down through that little hole. And the next one. By the way, this line is 3.5 millimeter hemp that at a great pain to Terry to obtain hemp thread. He made this for me about a year ago. I have a specific aim for it, but I just haven't used it yet. And around the corner, up through there. Count over 1, 2, back down through there. And one more. You'll know when you get to the end that you're going under 2 lines here. That you've gotten to the point where you've come full circle. Any questions so far?
You're making it look really easy.
Well, I mean, this is what I do. All right, now let's flip this thing over. And this is the most time-consuming part, so I may not do this perfect. I'm just gonna fare these up. But every one of these lines with the first loop needs to be fared up. I don't care how tight you tie it in the first place. It's going to need to be fared up, both for shape and to take out some of this slack. I've never been able to do anything other than have to take out some of this slack. So pull a little here, follow it around. The one on the right-hand side is the one you're following. Around there. Then that loop goes around here. So pull, give that a little pull, then across, down, and through there. And you do that all the way around. Or actually, you do it until you get it to the shape that you want it and how tight you want it to your satisfaction. Easy with a 5, not as easy with a 6 or an 8 or a 10. Because with a 5, you can kind of just pull these in fairly snug. With anything else, you have somewhat of a gap here in the middle that you've got to shape the way you want to. And it's a lot more fiddly. Or as the Scottish say, I think, tiddly.
John, as you're fairing this up on the back side, is that going to be final tension, or will you have to leave a little bit of slack for other strands to pass through?
That's a good question. Some of that is determined by how hard the line is. This is pretty doggone good hard line. So yes, you can't, well, I'll put it to this way. I once made a frame with 44 star knots on it. 40 of them, 38 of them were 5-point star knots tied out of number 120 as tight as I could make them. And yet even tying them as tight as I could make them, I had to get out calipers because they were different. I mean, it's really, there's so many variables in the tensioning of what you do. But yeah, if you want to do multiple passes through at the end, which I'm going to show y'all in a minute with some other stuff. Yeah, you got to not pull them as tight, not pull up but so tight.
Thanks for the explanation.
Yeah, well, that's a good question because you do have to kind of consider that. And I'm so used to doing this, I kind of do it without thinking. But when you're trying to explain it to somebody, that's why I'm encouraging y'all to ask me questions because I don't know what I might be missing. But anyway, so it's pretty close, right? And it's still not but so tight. It still has some slack to it in here, right? So the next step is, now that they're down again, is to go back up through the center. And the easiest tool for this, you can use a Swedish fid, but the fin fid of Miko makes this really easy. But you're going to be coming from here and moving, you can't see it, but it really is over 2, but you're moving in line with this one. You're moving to your left as I'm sitting, from right to left and going up in there. So I'm going to reach in here with this fin fid, see if you can see it, and just push through. And then I'm going to feed this one into that. Is that, can you see that? Let me see if I can. You're moving this line into that hole. So I'll do it and then show you what happened. So now you have a pair here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that happens all the way around.
Isn't that called a Swedish fed?
This one is a fin fid. This is actually a grip fid. This has grips in it. So that this line is a little bit too small for it to be really effective. But if you put this through here like this, and I stick that in there, it will pull it through. So you don't have to
That
feed
ma-
it through. It actually has grips in here.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier.
Way easier. It is the
Yeah,
right tool for the job.
I had to use forceps.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, use or hemostats.
Yeah,
That works.
hemostats. Yeah.
Yeah. But so that's a little. Hold on, I gotta fiddle with this. Okay, there we go.
So a quick question, where do you acquire that FID from?
The FID from Miko Snellman. He'll make them for you. If you just reach out to Miko and say, "Hey, man, I want you to make me a fin FID," and find out when he's doing it, because he usually does several at a time. By the way, now I'm pulling these all through individually. Pretty hard. This is a pretty good tug because you want these all tight. Okay. And then I go around the edge and get these all parallel and looking in order. And now we could do a number of things because they've all come back up the top. I could do a crown, or just to do your basic, finish it as a your basic star knot. I'm going to take the fin fid and come back up from the bottom of these loops, of these points, and find the right one to go through here.
Do a third pass.
Yeah, third pass, correct. So I mean that's the basics, right? Is the third pass. But you could stop it too. I mean, you could stop it too and finish it off, and that's one of the possibilities. You know, one thing I've never learned to tie, and I need to look at it. Have you all heard of the of Jesse Eves, the Evening Star Knot?
No.
Ought to do a tutorial on it. Pat Spearing, when he got to know, it's actually it was in, I don't know what issue, but it was in it was featured as a new knot in Knotting Matters some years back. But Jesse Eves was quite the maker of Senate frames, and among other things, and salt of the earth individual. All right, so and I usually do some fairing on this and get it to try to shape it up a little bit better by pulling back out on these and trying to get them as centered as possible. But now, one other thing you can do, which I'm not going to do on this, is you can then take these lines that have come out of the bottom and run them through these pairs beneath. You could actually run them under there, and then everything's tight as a tick. But you don't really need to. With hard line like this, you could just clip this off and you've got a finished knot.
What do you do with that button on the bottom
I cut it
that
off.
you started with?
I
Just cut it
cut
off
it off. Yeah.
and glue it?
You don't even have to glue it. I just take some
Really?
nippers and cut that sucker off. And it's still fine.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Here's what I've prepared to do. I'm guessing that most of you know how to tie a star knot already. Just guessing. I don't know. But I laid up
Wrong.
I laid up a 6 and an 8. I think I want to do the 6 and do some of the fancy crowning that I do. You guys cool with that? You still interested?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Because the 8 is a little more over the top, and well, I mean, I've got it really, I could do it, but it's 8's longer, but I haven't quite finished this. I was just doing this before I got on here. I like this. I like this line though. I haven't really done much with it. I had gotten some line from Skip Hips that was hemp. It was actually darker colored hemp that he had gotten from Europe years ago. Forget the name of the company. Um, anyway, it was on a spool. It was like 300 feet of it, and I was using it for I think it was 3 millimeter, and I was using it for making Christian crosses. And then I knew I was running out, so I ordered some, and they sent me some. Same looking spool, same specifications, loose as a goose. It was so limp you could buy garden twine and it would be better. So I sent it back, and they never did. I think it was Langman. If anybody knows Langman. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I was like, daggone it, I really like hemp. I wonder if Terry can make some hemp for me. And he's like, I don't know, man. Let me. He reached out to his resources and found out that he could get some hemp thread and made up this line for me. And I've got a bunch of it, but I haven't used it for much, but I intend to. It's a really nice line. But I used this hemp because uh, when I was doing this, dude, it's too white to show you guys what I'm doing at all. All
Oh,
right,
thanks,
so-
John. We worked hard on that hemp.
Oh, I know you did. It turned out really nice. Good line. This is 3.5 millimeter hemp from the Southwest. All right. So what I have discovered in over just from trial and error is that if I go ahead and do any kind of a crown on this right now, it's going to be bunched up. So, but if I trap every other line down and only
Three leg, right?
only crown 3 of the
Three,
6,
it's 3 legs. Yeah.
and I can go here, here, and
there.
here. Whoops. And that makes for a neat little mini crown in the beginning and ends up with a much tidier arrangement no matter what. So that and I try to get this pretty tight too because I've got more stuff coming on top of it. So that's pretty hard, tightened up crown knot right there. But that makes a nice little centerpiece, right? Then, just for simplicity, and it also looks cool, let's do over 2 crowning. So we're going to count over 1, over 2, over 1, over 2. Also, the key on this, let me start over in case you guys are not doing a lot of over 2 crowning. Where I hold my hand when I'm doing this is a key to not making mistakes on it. So I keep my hand here, then over 1, 2, and then grab my thumb underneath and hold it. So the one that's furthest back is going to be the right one. Over 1, 2, over 1, over 2, over 1, over 2. And here's where we started. Pull that a little, and we're going to go to another one. So over 1, over 2, through that first hole. Then last one, over this one, and over this one. So
This
through
one.
both of those loops. That's over 2 crowning. And then fair that up. One of the things I discovered, once again, I'll sit around watching TV, watching football, and do this mindlessly and see, oh, look, and then look and say, oh, look what I did. If I hold my thumb on the top of this one, because this is going to want to climb all the way up and get tight and cover all of it. That's what it wants to do. But I prevent it from doing that by holding my thumb on top and giving it a pretty good snug. I don't know if these are long enough for me to do the really fancy one, but so then one of the most natural things to do now is to do another over. That's not quite right. Hold on. Another over two crowning. That's pretty good. What I did on one of my more recent videos, a tutorial on this one, is I went straight down, actually, and then under here through these two, then back up the next notch on all of them, and then did over two crowning again, and then back down through the points. That's what this is. Looks cool, but you can't do it with a 6 very easily. Well, I'll take that back. Hold on, let me find it. This one, this is a 6 that I basically did that with. Turned out pretty cool. But let's just do this. So let's do another over two crowning. So over two, over two, over two, over, whoops, come here, over two, over two. Because I don't have these lines need to be about 18 inches long instead of 14 inches long to do that much crowning back up and down, and all that. These are 14 inches. That was 12 inches. So more than you need. 10 inches would work and give you still room to play with it. So here's what happens though when you do this. This second pass of over two crowning will not want to hold its shape, but it makes it look like a rose knot. Matter of fact, these guys, that doesn't look like a star knot at all, right? And you can do that. These are a real pain to do, by the way. But so at this point, this doesn't look good, but I'm going to go ahead and pull them down through the points. Then there's enough friction as they run through the points that I can fair up the over two crowning properly. It's so loose. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Yeah, I think it's all right.
Just tear it apart, John, and start over.
Yeah. That's funny. I've done it.
None of us have ever done that.
I was talking to Skip about that one. He goes, dude, I just throw them away. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know, you could. But 6 is manageable. 8 and 10, not so much. All right, so now I got to fair this up through the points, which is a bit sketchy, but can be done. But as I guess you can probably tell, I have a lot of fun with this. I am on my frames, I'm determined to never do two the same, and I never have. They've all been different. And that means that, not always, sometimes I've used the same feature over, but generally I like to do stuff that's completely different than what I've done before. And yeah, this is a little sketchy here. Hang on. Yeah, we're pretty good. So, yeah. Now understand. I mean, for what it's worth, I'm so crazy that I would sit for 20 minutes and get this perfect. That's me. But then the last thing you do with this to really anchor it is run those lines through one more time through these pairs on the bottom. and then it is solid as a rock. Ain't going nowhere. You don't need to glue anything. I mean, sometimes I will put a dot of super glue, but when you're going through this process and you're taking this last tuck under these pears on the bottom, it ain't going nowhere. Not if the line is hard. But I don't know that there's a limit to how many different things you could do to a star knot. I haven't found a limit yet. Now I should have brought it up here. I didn't. I made a star knot with a bunch of crowns and passes, and I made it square. Now, admittedly, it's hideous, but it was different than anything I've ever seen. It was like, good night. I hope I don't, ought to be burned. But so anyway, let's trim this off. The funny thing about star knots is, I mean, I don't even know if it was ever, I mean, the origin of it. You know, you're typically probably doing 5 strands or more, right? So that's not any typical rope, but it could be a stopper knot if you had a, 6 strand or a 4 strand rope. It could have been a stopper knot. Who knows?
I think it's
Um,
always a decorative knot.
I think so too. I agree. It's purely decorative. Um,
I remember Lindsay saying that a lot of the French cordage is 7 strands. So
oh, really?
yeah, with a center core. So I think you could probably make it a stopper knot there.
Yeah. So,
I made a bosun's lanyard with a star knot, then 2 inches, and then another star knot off of the center, and then just did a round turn in the center, and
uh-huh.
it was really came out, very very attractive. And the person I made it for was very happy with it. So you
Yeah.
build a star knot on top of a star knot.
Well, and I should have brought it up here too, but I have there's a friend of mine here in Williamsburg who is an art expert, and he has a business in refinishing paintings. For his credibility, I'll say this: I ran by to see him I don't know, a year and a half ago. He said, "John, let me show you what I just got." And understand, this guy's 80 years old. He goes, "Let me show you what I just got." And he opens up a folder, and he had 6 hand drawings in there by Salvador Dali.
Hmm.
He had been sent
Wow.
them by the National Gallery of Art to be restored because they had some mildew on them. That's who he is. Anyway, I went by and I was showing him some of my work, and 'cause we've been friends for years, since long before I was knotting. And I showed him a star knot that I had made, and he said, "You know what that would make? That would make a really neat pen holder if you just make a hole in the middle bigger." And I was like, that's a pretty good idea. So I took some 1/4 inch cotton that I had, and I made one, I don't know, about this big, and then with really long lines, and on the bottom, continued from the bottom and tied with a core. I used a core temporarily, about the size of my finger, and tied over to crowning down, and then tucked in everything nicely. And it was about, I don't know, about 2.5 inches on the bottom, the big star knot on the top. I bought a little ceramic cup, like a Demitas cup, uh, on on Amazon, and you could set it in there, and it would make a nice desk item and stick a pen in it. I sold a few of them. But the only way I sell stuff is when people reach out to me and say, "John, can I have one of those?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, however much." Yeah. But I sold a few of those. And yeah, so there's all kinds of different things you can do with them. But yeah, it's a decorative knot. Anything else, guys? I think I'm done.
Well,
All right,
done, John.
John, good
You
job.
brought up something.
Great tutorial.
Thank
You,
you.
you brought up something. What was the knot you were mentioning from Jesse Eves?
It's called the evening, spelled like Eaving, evening star knot, and it's
Okay.
in one of the guild. As a matter of fact, it said it was in issue number something or other from Pat Spearing. I looked it up and it wasn't, but apparently it was a featured new knot, new fancy knot, um, in the knotting matters.
Number 125.
125. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
But I have thought of doing a tutorial on that. I have a tutorial that was done blow by blow and a verbal description of how to do it. I've never tried it, but Pat Spearing definitely went to the trouble of trying to document that, and it's probably in that episode. I mean, in that issue.
Yeah,
I would guess.
it was mentioned in that index that that was written by Pat Spearing.
Yeah, yeah. So,
John, I would encourage you for prosperity for the future is if you made sample knots and labeled them with the process, that it's a 6-star with 2/2 crowning. Because I think some of this work, like we look at historic work now, and we don't know who did it. We don't know much about it. And I think it would, for the future, I think that labeling these things with the creator and also actually what it contains in terms of the knot is something that's really important for documentation for the future. So I would
Peter,
encourage.
do you mean beyond the videos that I've made?
Yeah, I think actually the actual knot itself, that at some point in the future, somebody is going to academically study these things. And I think having the information on what the cordage is, what the size was, how much you started with, all the details is going to be an extremely important thing for the future for documenting knots, who made them, how they were made. And I think like I said, a lot of the stuff now we see, that information is totally lost. It looks beautiful. I know you've talked about some of the Senate frames. In some cases, we don't know who made them.
That's right.
And I think that information is extremely important. So I would encourage you to do as much documentation as you possibly can.
Yeah, it's that, and like I said, and most of y'all have been at this longer than I have. I tell people just God dropped this in my lap. I recognized what it was, and I've been running with it ever since. But over the past 5 years, I've learned a lot, and from a lot of people who freely shared that information, whether by a YouTube video or from books. Matter of fact, in my next video, I'm getting ready to do a kind of a review of some of the books that I have found great value in. But yeah, it's kind of unsuccessfully, but that was the big impetus of when I started out the kind of podcast like show on my channel called We're Not Talking, interviewing Jamie White and Des Pawson and Lindsay Philpott, and that's a lot of how I got to know a lot of people around here too. In this realm, was just not being shy and reaching out to people saying, "Hey, can I talk to you on camera?" And those videos that I've made are very unpopular, but I consider them important because this is an obscure subject among obscure subjects. And yeah, I mean, Senate frames, what I do was a one-off always. No one knows who those guys were except for the people we know in the last, 50, 60 years. Nobody knows who made them. And the museums don't seem to give a darn either. But
I can give you firsthand knowledge. I have one right now. It's absolutely beautiful frame that's on the Chiefs quarters on the USS Midway.
yeah,
And they said, "Can you repair it?" And I says, "This thing was tied 100 years ago." Literally, I mean, it was. There's nobody that I could think of that could duplicate it. By the way, Lindsay Philpott's Decorative Knots is where I learned how to do the star knot. His book, without being what you're doing, of course, you made it look a little bit easier, but his star knot explanation in the book is fairly easy to follow. And I pulled my hair out for 6 months trying to tie that.
well, I'll tell you this, and this is another thing that with regard, not to be talking about me, but so much, but when I first started doing this, I'm an old guy that lives alone, and nobody around here ties knots except Howard. I didn't know Howard then, but nobody in my neighborhood. And so when I learned something, I after I made the first frame, Mac McKenzie down in Australia said, "Show us how you did it." So I was like, "All right, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll show you what I'm doing." And I posted a video on Facebook on Ropeworks group, and he goes, "No, you need to do a YouTube channel." And I'm like, "Oh, great!" So I had to figure that out. But especially the first, I don't know, 6 or 8 months of videos that I did, I was learning something the day before and then doing a tutorial on it, which is not optimum, just isn't. But it was what I was doing. I was like, I'm excited that I've just learned how to do XYZ, and here it is. So many of those early videos don't show the expertise that you get from doing something over and over a period of time and learning tricks and time saving methods that you do get. Um, but I'll tell you that this community to me is an amazing community of people from all over the world, diverse backgrounds, but have always, in my experience, been willing to share whatever they know openly, freely, and with excitement that somebody was interested. It's a wonderful thing. It really is. It's endearing to my heart.
And it's a pat on your back that you're willing to share it with us.
Well, I love doing it. I love sharing. And Emery, I appreciate what you said. I looked at the star knot for a good long while, and I have had Ashley's my entire life. My dad bought Ashley's in 1945 when he discovered that it existed because they didn't have the internet then. He didn't know it was existing in 1944. But I've had that book my whole life, and then most of it I didn't get it. And then one day, and I tell people this because honest to God truth, one day in 2020, all of a sudden I could understand it. I could look at almost anything and go, oh. And the star knot, I couldn't get from a written publication. I could get through the first 2 steps, but it took Miko Snellman's 5-point star knot video for me to watch somebody monkey see, monkey do. I was like, oh, I get it now. So that's why videos are important to me. It's how I learn.
Been there, done that. It took me 6 months to learn the star knot. And I watched, I don't know how many videos. And that's why I said Lindsay's Phil book just for some reason just clicked.
I forgot one other thing that I was going to say specifically in reference to this. When I first started doing videos and, I would learn how to do something, I was talking to my buddy Skip and I'd say, dude, there's already 10 videos, tutorials on how to do that. And he goes, yeah, but people learn different. And my case in point, I was trying to learn how to tie the single strand 5-point star knot, and I was not getting it. I was trying to tie out a paracord, and I watched 7 videos on that on YouTube. And it was the 7th one, the guy freaking explained it so I could understand it. And I was like, oh, then I could do it immediately. But so I totally digress on, I've done a number of videos that other people have done tutorials on because maybe they'll get the way I do it and some people won't get the way I do it, but that's okay. We all learn different ways.
Yep.
John, I taught aviation for years, and people think there's only one way to teach how to throw a switch. I could teach you how to push a switch in an airplane 4 different ways. And I didn't care which one you learned, but you needed to know how to properly throw that switch. And there were multiple techniques. And I agree with you that you can watch a whole lot of different tutorials until one shows you something the others didn't show you.
Yeah. Thanks, Brad. That's a good point.
Well, John, again, thank you very much for demonstrating. And thanks, Peter, for organizing this and twisting John's arm just enough to get him to demonstrate tonight.
I don't think there was any twisting whatsoever.
I don't either. I think he really enjoys it.
I do. I enjoy doing it. I do.
So let's see. We'll circle back here to Tweedle. Were you able to get your microphone to unmute, sir? No? No, we can't.
Muted.
There you
All
go.
right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I've enjoyed this um, knot tying group, the International Knot Tying Group, for about 5 years, and I've always been tying something together, whether it's in the Boy Scouts, when and just tying any kind of piece of string that you could come up with, or I've spent a lot of time tying coconut palm fronds and making funny looking things out of coconut palm trees, like hats and other things. And then when I got back out of the islands, I started tying bell ropes and anything I could tie together out of whatever I could find. And tonight I wanted to ask you, since it was a star knot program, I started tying star knots. They're not very pretty, but they're still star knots. And I appreciate the difficulty it is to do with limp string. Now here's one that's a little bit better at the end of bell ropes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, John, you made a good point, John, and that and being a knot tire for a long time is the consistency of the cord is really critical.
Oh yeah. Now here's another one. It's a little better.
Oh yeah.
But it's tied at the end of the sennit and not at the beginning, not make a button knot or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I can join you again on the next. There's a couple of other things we can make, out of palm fronds, birds and fish and stuff. But I hope I can join you again sometime. And I tried tying stuff with horse's hair. That's a trick. Have you tried that?
No, thank you.
Right. Okay. Call me again.
Well, thank you so much, sir. Thanks for calling in.
Let's see if I can mute this thing.
Okay, let's see. Who was it? Let me see.
Grover, didn't Grover have
Grover. Are you still with us, Grover? There you are. I see you now. So you had a question about a single-stranded bowline on a bite.
A single loop,
Yeah.
rolling on the bike. Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will be plain enough or not. There it is. Now, okay, it's reversed. Sorry about that. But
Only reverse to you. We can see it normally.
We saw it normally.
oh, okay, good.
That's Zoom for you.
So everybody that's tied the bowline on the bike used to the two loop. But I guess it was about 10, maybe 15 years ago, I came across a bosun that he had the manual, and he was kind enough to loan it to me for a day or so, just because I wanted to see what kind of knotwork one would be in there. And I had some experience on splicing eyes into Samson line, double braid. And of course, it covered a little bit of that as well. But the single loop bowline on the bite really struck me. And you can see I started out with the diagram, but I failed to complete my diagram. And I'd like to have some help if somebody else can guide on that. I looked in my Ashley's and could not find anything that was recognizable along that line with the knots tied on the bite or the single loop knots. So I understand that it may take a day or three to for anybody to come across it, but feel free to message me through Facebook, or I don't know if you've got a way to text to me or not. Some guys do, I think.
So Grover, I did a quick search during John's demonstration, and I found a YouTube video of what you describe, or what you called a single-stranded bowline on a bite, or single loop bowline on a bite. But to me, it looks like a figure 8 knot. Let me share it here and see if that's what you are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
If Johnny hasn't tied it, it's not a knot.
Yeah. You think that might be what you're looking for?
I really don't. Who did that YouTube?
Johnny Peart. It's Knotting Knotters or Knotting Knots.
Knotting Knots.
Oh,
John
Knotting
Peart.
Knots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched him do some stuff.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Take a look at that one and see if that is it. But to me, it looks like a figure 8.
Yeah. What's Johnny's last name?
Peart, Peart, but that's not how you'll find it. Just go to Knotting Knots.
Yep. Got it. Okay. And his is the figure of 8 with loop.
It was called exactly what you described.
Okay.
Let's see, single bowline on a bite.
Okay. Good, because that has perplexed me for some time, and it was out there. I wouldn't have called it anything else other than what I read. So the search continues, and I may be near the end of it. I do have one more question for you guys that do round sentence. Let's see, the coach whipping. I have a core, and it's just the right size. That 6 strands of number 36 goes around it and fills it up. But when I do the coach whip, there's still gaps. Is interweave always required on something like that?
When you do coach whipping, and you I don't know if you've ever watched my videos on that. I've done.
I have.
Yeah, go to the second one, not the first one.
Yeah.
What I have often done is you get finished and you've got say it's 4x4, right?
Yeah.
Which essentially is 4-strand ram braid tripled or quadrupled, right?
Yeah.
Around a
Yeah.
core. So if you get through, hopefully, if it's got gaps, you're gonna simply have to go back and get a lacing needle and put 4 more strands in there.
Okay.
By hand, and that works perfectly. You got
Okay.
it allows you to have control over covering that, and if it's really, really, really tight, it's a pain. So it becomes something where you've got to do it enough to get a feel for it.
Okay. All right.
Unfortunately,
Well, because what I was doing, it was 6 strands, and I was doing triple.
3 passes, yeah,
And I found that there were still gaps, and
yeah.
so
Add
I just
one more.
haven't had time to go on with the interweave. So
Yeah.
thank you, John.
You bet.
John, I have one thing on the I called it a Swedish fid that allows you to put the cord through the center. you said Miko Feldman. Is that M-E-K-O?
It's Mikko
M-I-K-K.
Snellman, Snellman. He's the president of the guild, of the
Okay.
European-based guild.
As you saw, I made that boat bumper out of some line that one
Yeah.
of the fellow knot tires made.
Yeah.
He gave it to me at the International Guild meeting. He says, "Here, Emery, here's 50 foot." And I said, "I need something, do something." But using a regular fid was okay, but boy, a Swedish fid really would have made it a lot easier.
Well,
And
these guys,
they're
you
fabulous. Yeah, you can't
the
beat them.
there's a guy who makes and I think he aims them at probably paracord or something, but they're called grip fids and they're really skinny. But this looks like a Swedish fid. And he makes
Yeah.
them in various sizes and he makes them all custom.
This is Miko Feldman.
Miko
Snellman?
Snellman.
Sneldman. Yeah, Sneldman.
But he is as good as anybody on the planet at making rope working tools, period.
Okay. So you got his own website?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm going to copy it and put it in the chat for you.
there you go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I needed one desperately last week, this just 2 days ago when I was doing that, trying to tuck in the ends and make it look really nice. I did it, but my hands are still sore.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Hey, Grover.
Yes.
We
Hey.
were looking at one of our knot books. Hold on, I think we found it.
Okay.
The bore line, the center bore line on the bike. The G&H book, plate 12, figure 213.
12. And
Yeah.
the Hetzel and Vermont.
Figure 213.
Does it say tie in the usual manner?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you got first method.
Just saying.
If the first method don't work, go to the second one.
Yeah.
Okay, what book is
John,
that?
I think we've got an idea for a new T-shirt idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
I think that's the Hensel and
tie in the
Vermont.
usual manner.
It's the Encyclopedia of Knots.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's only Vermont.
Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the plate and page numbers?
Hold on.
213.
Plate 12, figure
12.
213,
Page
page
213.
38.
Three different pages. This is a
138.
Oh, this is the newer book. Oh, sorry,
What was
this
the
is a
page
newer
number?
book.
Page number again was
On the newer book, it says 38, but that's the page number on the newer book.
38. Okay. Hey, guys, if I can't find it, because I've got what I think is the newer book, but it's got a picture of the guy tying a Senate while in a chair facing the window. I don't have your cover.
No.
No.
I
I
bought
don't have
mine
your
on
cover, so the page number may be different.
I bought
Yeah,
mine on eBay or something, and it looked like it was brand new. It was a recopy, but it had been in some prison.
I
Yeah.
bought
They didn't use it.
I bought Dad's this new one he has because his old one's falling apart. But I got this one off of Amazon. I think it was like $30 or $32 with
Yeah.
free shipping. So
Hey, there's a website for book buying. It's called cheapbooks.com. Okay.
oh no,
Fabulous.
that's true, but I can usually
Cheap
go through Dad's bookstore and find some books.
Cheapbooks.com.
You do have a resource there, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I've got two of your all's books that and from Sexy Red. I appreciate that. I got my copy of the encyclopedia from Eagle Bay.
Yeah,
Alright,
no,
so-
I got this one off Amazon for Christmas. Like I said, I mean, that's what it looks like. It's pretty.
Yeah, that's the one.
I've already
What?
bookmarked a lot of other things for Dad to do out of this book for me, but we haven't made it there.
What revision is
Get to
it?
work,
What
Terry.
version?
Do what?
What revision is it? Is it revision 4, fourth edition?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. I don't remember
It
off the
says on
top
the
of my
front.
head. Yeah, this was the fourth edition, the 11th printing. Yeah, it's new.
All right, does anybody have any projects they want to share?
I think Howard
Oh,
does.
don't look at me.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been busy with baby goat. Not me.
Yeah, I can
Go ahead,
I
Howard.
can share a couple of little things. Since Gabriel Richer from France posted some pictures a few weeks ago, and I had never seen these things. I never heard of them, and I got interested. So I went and bought one. This is a clasp that is used to go through the grommets of a duffel bag, and you can put a little padlock on it here. It's just brass, but the German, the French, and the British navies gave these type of clasps with padlocks to their sailors. The French sailors apparently made an art out of it by decorating these. I haven't found the German and French sailors have done that, but I found several of them with different designs, and so I started playing around with this. So it is just brass, and they have slightly different shapes. This is sort of a flattened U. Some of them are semicircular, and some of them are more U-shaped. Anyway, this one I did 8-strand, 1/over crowning. This is about 1.5 millimeter. So there's 8 cords there, and they're tied really, you can see really tight. And then same thing over here. And then I put a couple of Turk's heads, 4x5s, I think, on there. And then I'm working on the handle. So what will be down here is a handle and some kind of knot and tassel at the bottom to finish it up. So what the guys would do is poke this through the grommets of their duffel bag to cinch it up, lock it, grab the handle, and you could just carry it around like that. I saw those. That was pretty cool. I have not seen these in any books.
I haven't either.
I hadn't seen them anywhere else. So I thought, oh, this is great. So in Europe, there are plenty of these on eBay from European countries for the equivalent of $4, $5, $6, $7. Of course, shipping is ridiculous. In the United States, there are a bunch of these on eBay in the US, and they're all going for $40, $50. So I bought one. And hopefully when I get over to Europe next year, I'll pick up some more, because I think you could make a lot of really cool designs out of this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And John a
duffel bag lock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Sailor's duffel bag lock. If you look on eBay, you'll see them. John suggested, as we were talking about different ways of constructing these, to splice a line here. So I've got some 4 millimeter cotton, just a standard eye splice around the middle here, and tapered. And then I decided, amongst several things that I tried, I'd like to do 8-strand coach whipping doubled. So these are 16 strands, and it looks gorgeous. When I've done it, it's a beautiful pattern. So I'm doing square. What would it be, John? It would be 8-strand square braid.
It's basically 4-strand rand braid.
It's 8-strand square
with a core.
Yeah,
yeah.
8-strand square doubled. With
no,
a
wait,
core.
how many strands? 16?
8. Yeah, so it's 8 strands doubled.
Okay.
So when you do it, and I took it all apart, but when you do it, it's like a twill weave: over 2, under 2, over 2, under 2, and square. So it has 4 sides to it. It really looks really nice.
And then you need to do that T-shaped Turk's head.
Yeah. Turk's head, T-shaped Turk's head on the top here. But my problem has been I've not been happy with when I start it, I can't get all the crosses up tight and close with the doubled strands. It covers the core real nicely, but getting started, it leaves some gaps here. So I'm still playing with it. I've probably done it and taken it apart about 6 times. So eventually we'll get it. Anyway, I just thought that'd be interesting because
It is.
I
It's
hadn't
cool.
seen until recently. I'd never seen these things. And I'll show you one other thing real quick. I think most of you who've been in the service have seen these paddles. I did not
Retirement
make
paddles.
this. Yep, retirement paddle. I did not make this, but I'm just bragging on my significant other, Denise. Finally retired, 30 years active and reserves, and then 10 years as a contractor in Spec War Group 2 Medical, working in the clinic. She retired as a Master Chief. And so they gave her this paddle with the bone frog because she works with the SEAL teams, 2 stars, and
Nice.
little laser engraving.
Yeah.
And John, I don't know if Aaron made this or where it came from, but it's local here at Little Creek. Anyway,
Who
just
knows? A
bragging.
lot of guys do make those.
Well, there's
Yeah,
a shop.
just-
There's a shop on base there at Little Creek Fort Story.
yes.
Could have been there.
Oh, what is it called? Not O'Hara's, O'Sheen, something. Oh, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been there several times, and yeah, it's a great little shop. Anyway, I just wanted to brag on Denise a little bit she was saying for a long time when she retired she wanted a paddle, so she got it.
So give her a hoo-yah from me.
Yeah.
Will do.
BZ.
Yeah.
That's all I had tonight.
And Carol's got something she wants to share.
Let's start with a question for Howard, though. Why are you adding a handle to a handle? Isn't it already a handle?
Yeah, it's interesting that the guys, it just comes like this. It's just the U-shaped with the hasp.
Yeah.
And they would put it through and grab it like this. The German and English versions that I saw would have a padlock with little chain keeper.
Mm-hmm.
But the French attached these handles, and some of them they would put a sling on the end so you could attach it to the other end of your duffel bag and throw it over your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have the lock and a way to carry it. So anyway, yeah, it's just an interesting design, and it's an interesting piece of history that I hadn't heard about until recently.
Yeah. So
I have a question. Anybody going to Tasmania?
I had really wanted to and talked to Barb about it, but we're not going to be able to make it.
Nobody going to Tasmania?
That's
No,
only
I've
2 weeks
heard-
away, right?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks away. I haven't heard of anybody going.
It's a $1,700 round trip too.
I think
Okay.
Bob Dollar checked into it, but he had some issues last time trying to get there and couldn't acquire all the correct paperwork, so he didn't go last year. So I don't know. There's some tricks getting over there, I understand.
Thank you.
Take it away, Carol.
yeah. So I was going down a rabbit hole of different things. So this is a knot that I found on jungojed.org that they said was a 3rd order Turk's head. But and then this one is a 2nd order Turk's head. And I only recently figured out that they are from the Rossing round mat book that you can get off the IGKT website, right? And so he calls them rosettes. And I was looking at the definition of Turk's heads in as much as it's a braid, right? But if you flatten this out into a braid, it would be asymmetrical and would curve. right? So I'm guessing that these are not Turk's heads. And so I was trying to what I wanted to do is make these guys on a Turk's head mandrel like we saw last month or the month before, right? And so I was trying to figure out. So this one is a three byte 5-part. And I was trying to figure out, how it would work if you could do it on the mandrel. And I'm not 100% certain you can, but sort of I am anti pin board, flat pin. So I was just trying to figure out a different way to do it. And so this one is just a regular 6x5, and this is a 6x7. And I was looking into, so again, there's one of the creators, not guys on jungojed.org, did what he called hemispherical Turk's heads. And so this one is one of them. He did 2 of them. This is the second version, and this is the first version, but obviously this is 5 in the middle. And so I just tied a 5x6 Turk's head trying to figure it out. But as I was looking at these, again, these ones, I was trying to decide if these ones and these ones were related. In this one, even if you arrive at it independently, is the same as Rossing's roting rosettes, right? Not the same as the rattan rosettes that he talks about, but the roting ones. But again, in the same book, so it's the same sort of thing where it's like a riff on the Turk's head knots. But I was just trying to figure out if I could do these on the mandrels, on the cylindrical mandrels or not. And I think you might be able to. It's like with this one, you can see the where it dips back for I don't know if you want to call it a second pass or something like that. And I think that if you have the ones with 4 nails on each side, you can use one of the interior nails to do it, such that you don't need to pin it down to a board. But this is just random neuron firings and knots that I've tied recently.
Cool.
Yeah. So
having done a bunch of them, I found putting them on a foam board with the pins works much better than on a mandrel.
I know that, and yet I always trying to figure out a way to do it without pinning it down to a board.
Okay.
Hey, Grover, this isn't the knot you're talking about, is it?
No, I was mute. Sorry about that. No, I'm afraid that it's not.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.